Oh fuck, let's get this over with. Black Panther opens with a neat animation explaining the history of Wakanda, the country that Black Panther protects. Apparently a meteor hit the continent of Africa, and said meteor was made entirely from vibranium. This pushed the people of Wakanda into the future far faster than any nation across the globe. One tribe took over another 4, and they essentially blocked themselves from the world as an isolated nation. Why the fuck would they stop at the arbitrary border of Wakanda back in the bloody Stone Age if they were advancing immeasurably faster than any other nation across the world? How didn't they just naturally spill over Africa as a continent and potentially the world by nature of the tools they had? Early humans expanded excessively, and the Wakandans are already established as a people who are willing to dominate neighboring tribes. Are you telling me they stopped after they took fucking 4? Seriously? And no one managed to get the word out about Wakanda's resources across its entire history except Gollum? Are you telling me that across the vast history of Wakanda, no one on Earth found them before they got their cloaking device up, while they simultaneously had nobody leave and share the location of Wakanda? How the fuck are they a secret to the surrounding areas? Or hell, how are they a secret to the Earth-viewed Wakanda that is sitting right next to them in extreme poverty? Do they actually care about the people starving at their doorstep? Do they at least bribe those guys to stay silent? Like, you probably think I'm crazy right now. Watch the opening again. Before they travel through the secret entrance to Wakanda, the ship that Black Panther and his crew are in flies right past regular Wakandans, and some fuck is waving to them. These people are not only aware that there is a secret advanced society, but T'Challa doesn't seem to give a shit about other people spotting them. How could this possibly stay a secret? Are you telling me that all these people just work for the secret Wakanda and that no secrets slip out? How do relief workers not find out about this if the third world Wakandans know about it? What? Oh, okay. We just need to let the Foundation go and enjoy the movie, right? Look, let's enjoy the movie. We open up in the 1970s with 2 characters that have a plan to share weaponry to communities surrounding the area with Wakandan technology because of the struggle that persists. The Black Panther, a young T'Chaka that we met in Civil War, confronts one of the 2 men about this plan, and it is said that he must return to Wakanda for judgment by some council or something. Then we're back in modern times, and we're with T'Challa's Black Panther. He speaks with Michonne about the current plan. She's bald, I don't know. Michonne then hands T'Challa his balls and wishes him good luck, and he launches down to a convoy of cars. As he is plummeting to the trees, he throws his balls at his enemies and it disables them. Soon after, he disappears into the darkness. The thugs are looking around and panicking about his disappearance until he stealthily knocks out 2 of them and waits, only to then assault them entirely, performing kicks, punches, and incredible acrobatic feats. Well, that's what I'm guessing happened, because despite being in the center of the cinema, I couldn't see a fucking thing aside from muzzle flashes and a blur bobbing around killing soldiers over and over. Why in the world would Black Panther bother with any kind of stealth? His suit makes him immune to bullets. He may as well just do it the Iron Man way and land in the center of a bunch of enemies and just fuck them all up. They can't actually do anything to him, so why bother with the pretense? And maybe you're thinking he wants to do it with a limit to civilian casualty or protecting the people in the convoy, but he only stealth kills 2. For the rest, he just assaults the place with bullets flying everywhere. I'm pretty sure he did it, so the audience felt the tension rising. We felt that he might be in danger. But he's not. He's literally immune to these weapons. Not getting a strong vibe of intelligence with this approach here, but, you know, maybe that's the point. T'Challa's not girlfriend pops up from the pack of hostages and kicks some ass too, defending one of the thugs as a young boy that should be given back to his family. Then some random soldier who didn't die threatens to shoot, but Michonne drops in on him and spears him to death. Why does the most technologically advanced society use fucking spears? T'Challa then squeaks out a, "Hi," and a, "Huh?" in response to Michonne saying he froze. Gotta say, I'm not quite seeing the badass from Civil War here.
Wolf, Captain. I won't ask a second time.
I didn't kill your father.
Then why did you run?
Not girlfriend then says that T'Challa has ruined her mission and that she is essentially a spy, but T'Challa says that his dad has died and so that he wants her to be at his coronation. Yes, you heard that right, he fucked up her mission because he wants her to attend the ceremony of him becoming king. Bit of a twat move, but whatever. We then see them travel through some trees in Wakanda to the actual secret Wakanda. There are several highly advanced pieces of technology and architecture everywhere, but actually they have thatch-style huts embedded into the structures. Because, I mean, okay, apparently vibranium is such an incredible metal that it skyrocketed Wakanda to a futuristic age in technology and architecture, but perhaps not in the general market that's available to the populace. So they decided to shove ancient housing designs into the sleek metallic buildings. Neat as an artistic sort of thing, but it makes no bloody sense. We then get a royal entrance for Black Panther as he approaches his mother and sister. And in relation to the cars that were disabled by the Black Panther's balls in the beginning, his sister says, "How many times do I have to tell you? Just because something works doesn't mean it can't be improved." This line is a commentary for the point of the film itself, but here it just means that he needs to update his balls. We then cut to London and we see, oh, look, it's Creed. That was a good movie. I like Creed. Creed is looking at ancient artifacts while getting them explained by some lady. He gets rather flustered when she implies that the artifacts were discovered and corrects her. These things were not paid for by this woman's ancestors. They were stolen just like they stole everything else. Turns out the lady has been poisoned and the medical team called in to help for some reason hired Gollum, or Gollum forced his way in. Either way, a team of mercs that work with Creed all burst in the room and basically kill everyone. Gollum has been looking for vibranium in order to sell it like he was doing back in Age of Ultron, and Creed has led him to some more. We then see that Creed has a girlfriend, just like our protagonist, and they all make a clean getaway. We are then faced with a weird waterfall-adjacent arena in which our hero is going to be crowned king, but his entire audience, who must have been crane-lifted in because I do not see how they fucking got there, almost seem completely green-screened. How about that? I imagine it's a part of the Wakandan technology to prevent loneliness, but it just seems off to me. Apparently, in the process of being crowned king, Wakandan tribes are encouraged to challenge the current ruler in mortal combat, potentially resulting in either one of their deaths, and for this, the Black Panther's powers are taken away so that the fight is fair. Why in the fuck would the most advanced culture in our time be using trial by combat to dictate a ruler? What society based on the progress of technology and medicine, and protection in general, would allow the strongest person to rule rather than the smartest, or generally speaking, the best suited? On top of that, what is with the location and everyone's outfits and the weird war paint stuff? This is starting to feel as though they only bring in the high-tech shit when it suits the story. Otherwise, we end up in a tribal land doing tribal stuff and things. I mean, guys, seriously, why the fuck do you use spears? Besides that, why can you just strip the Black Panther's powers so easily? Is this a superpower you can just turn on and off with some purple juice? Does he not have a stronger claim to the Black Panther than just being the son of the last guy who drank the juice? I figured it would have been in his blood or some shit. In his family, in his line, anything? Is it just juice? Anyway, there is this weird off-center cave that houses this whole other clan who are just waiting for a dramatic entrance to challenge T'Challa, and I have to ask, did no one see them go in there at the beginning? Did nobody wonder where this tribe was? They're one of the 5. Does the cave lead all the way to their mountain hideout or something? Like, Forrest Whitaker,
Save the dream!
who is in this film, by the way, has no idea why he's there. He even asks, how do you not know this already? What the... The guy from the Gorilla Clan then says he's frustrated with the rulers because their technology is being run by a child and that they scoff at tradition. Finally, he says that T'Challa couldn't keep his own father safe. So this is basically a dick of a character, and whatever he means by the girl running the whole science thing, we'll probably get to that. Dick then attacks T'Challa, and after beating the shit out of him, he says no powers, no claws, no special suit means he's just a boy. Don't forget that without the suit and the tech, like the balls and obviously the flower power, T'Challa really is mostly useless. And by the way, it is very strange that Dick forgot to mention the balls. Throughout the fight, the guy from Get Out is cheering for T'Challa, and we keep getting reaction shots from him, so I suppose he's important. Then the surrounding spear people are all poking closer and closer to raise the tension, though I just wonder if they realize that they are dictating the length of the fight since the challengers can't fucking move with them being that close. After T'Challa reads out his own name, he gets a burst of strength and defeats Dick. Soon after, he is crowned king, and all is right with the world. The weird thing for me was that T'Challa was actually pretty damn injured at this point in the fight, and to be honest, are the rules actually that anyone can just challenge after another challenge has been done? Because that would just mean that I would wait, you know? If I was a member of one of these clans, I would allow someone else to challenge first and then go in second because, you know, you're probably gonna have better chances, but fuck it, let's just move on. So it is finally revealed that the power of the Black Panther truly is from a plant. It gets crushed up into juice, you drink the juice, then you become a superhero. It's that simple. It's essentially the super soldier program that Hydra are running, only it's way better and it comes from a plant. A plant they have like 50 of that grow back. Okay, why the fuck wouldn't Wakanda supply this drug to its military, the people who guard the leaders? It would make them so much better at their jobs considering how easily this power is provided and there are so many to spare. That's just silly. What's with the counter juice, by the way? It's said in the beginning that the initial flower power came from plant life being infected by the vibranium. Did it also create a counter flower power at the same time? That's just silly. You take it once, and unless you have the counter juice, it apparently works for life. Considering the fact that it's a regrowing plant from the first tribes who ever set foot on Wakanda, you could have easily provided the entire population of Wakanda the ability to heal fast and lift huge weights while being agile and fast, and you chose not to? That's just silly. Is it a genuine rule that people who are crowned king are the only ones that are allowed to have the flower power? If that's the case, then how did T'Challa have this power in Civil War before being crowned king anyway? Is it just something anyone is allowed to have if they're sent outside of Wakanda? Well, no, because we've already seen that that isn't true several times. How was T'Challa the Black Panther before he had been through the Coronation exactly? We know this film takes place after Civil War because they have Helmut Zemo in custody and on the news, so shouldn't he have the power after his time in that film? I mean, excusing all of that stupid, why isn't there a resident Black Panther for the military and then the king resides over policy in Wakanda while the Panther goes on missions outside of Wakanda? What is the point of the Black Panther protecting Wakanda alone when there is basically no conflict in this peaceful nation whatsoever? It always comes from the outside. So when people go on missions to spy and bodyguard, why aren't they given the flower power too? It would not only make them better at protecting their king, but it would also make them better at protecting Wakanda, for fuck's sake. This is really silly. The overall lesson here is that the power of the Black Panther comes from a plant and his suit. The suit and plant are only allowed for him, and that's just how it works. Whatever. By taking the flower power back and burying yourself in large amounts of sand, you are able to speak to your father through dreamland, I guess. No idea. Stop complaining and watch the film. T'Chaka explains that his son has trained long and hard to be king and that he should not worry about being ready, which, again, makes me wonder, can anyone be the Black Panther or not? Why can't we mass supply this drug to Wakandans at least? Why the fuck do they use spears? T'Challa was allowed the power in the suit because he was the current Panther's son? I don't bloody know, and the script certainly isn't answering that either. His father ends the scene by saying it is hard for good men to be king, and T'Challa wakes up ready to begin his rule. He takes a stroll down some street in Wakanda that honestly does not seem like something you could possibly see in the most advanced society in the modern age. They got some outside grill with wood and rags propping up shelters, trading and bustling as though they're in some third world country in a heaving marketplace. But this is supposed to be incredibly technologically advanced, right? Not Girlfriend talks about how people are struggling outside of Wakanda, and she suggests that they should share their own resources with the world. T'Challa says that Wakanda could lose their way of life, and she responds that they can both protect Wakanda and help people outside of Wakanda. This is essentially the core argument of the film, and there will be good guys and bad guys on both sides of it. They then flirt for 1 second and the scene ends. We see some struggling farmers with a handful of baskets, sticks that are tied together to make a fence, with animal pelts and clay pottery clearly being strong exports. I don't, this is just too hard to take seriously. Okay, so the scene continues and it is revealed that this is the guy from Get Out. It's his farm, and he fucking farms rhinos. Why in the goddamn hell is he farming rhinos? They walk up to it like it's a fucking kitten, give it a snack. Why is this normal? What the who farms fucking rhinos? I wonder if this very rhino will have a strange and specific use in the later parts of the film. Get Out then says they shouldn't allow immigrants in as they bring their problems with them, and that they would be better off conquering other countries instead. T'Challa says that Get Out does not know the way. Then Michonne calls in with the plot. Apparently Gollum has been detected by, I'm not fucking joking, the radar. He's just been picked up and somehow they know what he's stolen, where he's going to sell it, and who he is selling it to. This is just info they have. Fuck if I know how they got it. T'Challa says that Gollum has escaped their clutches for 30 fucking years, and now that is going to change. How the fuck did Gollum manage to escape Wakandan justice for 30 years? Is he incredibly good at his job? He's been stealing vibranium enough to store massive amounts of it over time, and you're telling me he managed to slip the clutches of Wakandan surveillance technology? Really? When we have just established that they can pluck facts from thin air. They caught him long enough to have a fucking brand on him, but he hasn't been stopped? Ugh, what the The council decide to go after Gollum, and Get Out says that his parents were killed by Gollum, so he totally wants him dead now. This is what we call clunky motivation for future retarded actions, but we will come back to that. T'Challa then engages with his plan, and so meets the Wakandan equivalent of Q. She gives him an ear thingy that lets you talk to and spy on people. She makes a "what are those" reference, which made me question my own existence, and finally Q has taken his balls and upgraded them to interface with something. I don't know. His balls are overpowered as fuck and they do everything, whatever, moving on. Q lets Black Panther know that his new shoes will make absolutely no noise when using them. They are 100% sound absorbent. This doesn't come up again in the film whatsoever. He doesn't use this ability or feature. The entire reason this exists is so that Q can tell Black Panther a joke. She says that she calls the shoes that make no noise sneakers. Yep, not actually brought up again. Q then introduced the new suits, vibranium Black Panther suits that form around the wearer, that are stored in a necklace. Q has 3 Black Panther suits, with 2 of them being spawnable on your body. Q could mass produce suits in necklaces and use the plants from earlier to create an incredible force for good in Wakanda. Instead, they let everything degrade in terms of technology and waste every advancement they've made except for giving one guy some powers and a suit. What the fuck? What the fuck is this film doing? We can't have such a powerful resource be so bloody plentiful and easy to provide to people. How the fuck are you going to explain this kind of technology not being on the people who run the assignments for Wakanda? How are you going to explain the people of Wakanda not being able to access this kind of technology? How are you going to explain this shit not being provided to the Avengers once Infinity War bounces around? The plants and the outfits are so ridiculously easy to get, and they connect in no significant way to T'Challa personally, that I've lost all investment in this retarded world. Like, seriously, what makes T'Challa the Black Panther more than anyone else? Anybody could be the Black Panther. It's just the fucking suit. At least with Iron Man, he designed, created, and uses the technology with a combination of his intelligence. But T'Challa just has the flower power. Come to think of it, was T'Chaka stripped of the power of the Black Panther when he spoke for Somalia? Seems like he probably wouldn't have died if he still had the power of the Panther. So that means they would have stripped it from him, right? Because I mean, it's not like you can bring the juice out of people to provide it to another person. So can you guys imagine when T'Chaka gave up the mantle that they just took his powers instead of letting him live his life with it? Like, he's just sitting there thinking to himself, you know, I've got increased healing, better agility, speed, and I'm really old, so can I just keep it? And they're like, no. My god, we're not even a quarter of the way through the film yet. Before we leave the Q scene, we are told that the suits can now absorb kinetic energy, charge it up, and then expel it as a powerful blast of energy, meaning that Black Panther is essentially even more unstoppable than before because he needed that, I guess. We then move to South Korea, and Not Girlfriend makes a reference to I whip my hair back and forth. Once again, I ponder the meaning of life. T'Challa, Michonne, and Not Girlfriend meet with some old lady, and they get into a secret high-class gambling/trading area in the middle of some fish market. Okay. They scope out the place and discover a handful of guards that will prove more than likely to be a problem, as well as Bilbo Baggins, who is simply hanging out and waiting for Gollum to trade some diamonds for the vibranium he has. Bilbo says he didn't call attention to Black Panther's suit in exchange for Black Panther supplying Helmut Zemo from Civil War, so they are even and shouldn't attempt to cross paths. Soon after, Gollum enters the room and has an entire entourage that rush past the old lady and through the sensors despite having plenty of guns. The characters comment on this, but we get no reasoning as to why they're allowed through with guns. We don't even know what this place really is or who owns it, but fuck it, it's dramatic and the nameless bad guys need their pew-pews. Gollum then makes a reference to SoundCloud and the mixtape he's coming up with, which, Not Girlfriend then announces that it is now or never in relation to capturing Gollum, but this makes about 0 sense when they have established that there are guards all over the place with guns and our heroes have some knives and a spear. Which ones have the advanced technology again? Remind me. We then get a scene of our heroes killing the crap out of everyone, including Michonne performing many death by spear moves despite her ranged opponents wielding projectile weaponry, and all Michonne has is a dress. To top this off, Not Girlfriend kills a guy with a shoe. T'Challa doesn't activate his suit, so I assume he doesn't have it since bullets are flying and people are in danger throughout this fight. Gollum uses his fake arm to fire a massive, horrible projectile into something that T'Challa was hiding behind, and a bunch of money comes down, and he says, "Ha ha, I made it rain." Which was he not supposed to be intimidating at one point?
Is this your first time intimidating someone? I'm afraid, I'm not that afraid.
And now he's this weird, incompetent, reckless, unhinged circus clown who laughs at his own jokes when, whatever. Q then drives a car remotely for Black Panther as he activates his suit. Why he didn't do this when the bullets were flying in the gambling area, I do not know, and neither does the film. We are then treated to a large, stitched-together scene of explosions, flips, guns, knives, jumps, and Michonne describes guns as primitive in a whole dismissive way. Did they seriously poach a line from the bloody prequels?
So uncivilized.
What the fuck? Gollum then tells everyone that the cars are made of vibranium and thus bullets do not work on them. And immediately after that, Michonne wants to show off with a crazy spear throw that turns out to disable the opposing car perfectly. They don't show how she picks the spear back up, but more importantly, it's really fucking convenient considering how she could easily have been killed if someone decided to shoot at her when she exited her bulletproof car. As she moved through the window to aim her spear and also just sit on the car, it would have been so unfortunate for her to experience the firepower of such primitive weaponry, wouldn't it? I am not kidding here. She sits on top of the car for a good few seconds as the guys in front continue to shoot, but we get nothing. She's not even bothered. Is she wearing an invisible Black Panther suit or some shit? It ends up that every bad guy is beat and they tie up old man Gollum while refraining from murdering him in case the world sees, with Bilbo acting as a taxi for our heroes. We get to see Gollum making kissing sounds at the interrogation window, as well as shouting to himself, topped off with him singing a song in a horrible way. I mean, he's just insane now. How in the holy fuck did this guy manage to evade Wakanda for 30 years? Is the excuse that he went insane very recently, and before that he was totally clever and shit? Fuck off. Bilbo then agrees to have a conversation with Gollum and hopes that T'Challa will not take him to Wakanda once it's over. Gollum reveals that Wakanda has a huge source of both incredible technology and a massive mine for vibranium, and that's where he got his arm from. Bilbo replies that Wakanda is just shepherds, textiles, thatch housing, farming, etc., and Gollum says it's all a front. People have searched for Wakanda, but it remains a secret technological wonder. And I can't help but laugh, because in essence, the fake Wakanda is shepherds, farmers, sticks, thatch, pelts, and pottery acting as a front for the actual Wakanda, which is shepherds, farmers, sticks, thatch, pelts, and pottery with a hint of rhino. Just sounds so retarded on paper, not to mention an extremely incredible base at the center covering all kinds of technological wonders from advances in medicine to weaponry that are not available to anyone but the Black Bloody Panther. What utter fucking nonsense. It's like the film thinks that the isolationism of Wakanda from the world is the subject, but I'm more interested in the isolationism of the Black Panther's powers and technology from the Wakandan people. Explain that shit, movie. Gollum then says that Bilbo should ask some more questions about Wakanda and vibranium in relation to Black Panther's suit, and so we continue. Creed pops back up because he tracked Gollum's position via his bionic arm, and I completely forgot Creed was even in the film. He has to come and rescue Gollum and ends up shooting Bilbo in the spine. How unlucky. I wonder if this is going to push the plot in a particular direction. Black Panther tries to chase Creed, but he stops him with a noob tube. Bear in mind, Black Panther swallowed a blast from Gollum earlier with ease, and that was a Wakandan-made weapon, but Creed, using a primitive weapon, apparently managed to incapacitate Black Panther when he was wearing the same suit. That makes sense to me. Black Panther sees that Bilbo is wounded and shoves one of his balls into him. No, I'm not kidding. Here's the screen of it. The balls that deactivate cars, control technology, and communicate with others also stabilize spinal injuries. What the fuck? They decide to bring Bilbo to their base and argue over how unlawful this is, considering that he will find out about Wakanda. They go on about this stupid shit for some time, despite the obvious choice being heal him while he's unconscious, keep him unconscious with your Dumbledore-level medicine magic bullshit, and then drop him off in America. It's not hard. Stop making a big deal out of it, you fools. I mean, for fuck's sake, throw a blindfold on him if you have nothing else. What's he gonna do if he wakes up one day in America after being shot in the spine? Tell everyone he was healed by a wizard in some magic land? He still wouldn't know who did it and where the secret is. Fuck off. We then enter the science area and Q says she's excited to see another broken white boy for them to fix. Get Out then arrives and basically says, why didn't you capture or kill Gollum? And because dialogue is really hard to write, Black Panther says, yeah, he's not here, I fucked up the mission, see you around. What Black Panther could have told him is that Gollum was captured and ready for transport only to be attacked by someone related to Wakanda, and as a result this person kidnapped Gollum themselves before Black Panther could bring him back. He knows this because of the necklace, and if he fucking told Get Out, then Creed would have less leverage upon delivering the corpse. No, right, that hasn't happened yet. Well, Creed is going to deliver Gollum's corpse to Get Out, and the only reason it's going to matter now is because T'Challa didn't tell him the truth here. But you know, writing's hard. We see Creed and his team entering a plane ready to travel to Wakanda, and Creed decides to kill his whole team including his girlfriend because he wants Gollum's corpse, but also because he doesn't like his fucking team? I don't know. The scene actually finishes with him killing Gollum. So much for that character. We then find out that Forrest Whitaker is still in the film.
Save the dream!
And he tells us about the fateful night that we saw the first half of in the beginning of the film. Apparently T'Challa's uncle fell in love with an American woman who was going through hardships in her community, and so the only recourse was to take over the world with Wakandan weapons and rule the planet the right way. I'm not kidding you, that is the fucking plan from the initial villain of the film. To take over the world by force and rule it with the correct mindset. T'Chaka then says the uncle will go back to Wakanda and face judgment. So the uncle pulls a gun on young Forrest Whitaker in the hopes of, I assume, killing him because of the betrayal, I guess. But he's doing this while there is someone in the room with a Black Panther suit? What the fuck are you thinking, you fool? As a crazy result of the situation, the uncle is killed to death by T'Chaka's Black Panther, and they both decide to leave the son the uncle had behind because otherwise people would ask questions about where he's from, and they had to maintain the lie that they never found the uncle. What the fuck? It's not going to be difficult to tell the Wakandan Council that someone from Wakanda was selling arms in an attempt to overthrow the planet and that they were breaching the safety of the entire secret society. That's actually a pretty reasonable excuse to execute them. They all agreed for the death of Gollum for arms dealing. I think you'd be able to get away with explaining this one, folks. But aside from that, he actually tried to murder one of you. What you did was called self-defense. You had to kill him to prevent him from killing others. Why would that be so controversial? Why do you need to keep that a secret? As shown with the trial by combat, you guys rule with an iron fist. Even if people didn't think you did the correct thing, you're their king anyway. What difference does it make if they found out? What the hell is the point of keeping this fucking secret? There's no real secret to even keep. The entire villain plot for this film is because Forrest Whitaker and T'Chaka made the stupidest fucking decision imaginable. Why are you being so dumb, film? Creed then delivers Gollum's corpse to Get Out, and we assume this has brought him quite a bit of favor as well as an audience with the council, I guess. I wouldn't fucking know because I still don't get why he couldn't just turn up to the place regardless and demand a trial because of his blood right. Not to mention the ring that he has, and the tattoo, and the knowledge, but whatever the fuck, I guess. He needed Gollum. Actually, on that topic, why the hell did Creed wait to kill Gollum until halfway through the movie? What the fuck was the point of that? Why didn't he open with this plan? What was he waiting for? On top of that, why did he need the plan at all? The body of Gollum is not the key to getting into Wakanda and taking the throne. It's not even the key to gaining favor. You don't need favor when you're the king. Is it entirely unrelated aside from getting Get Out on his side? And how the fuck did he even know about that? There is no reason he should know about how much Get Out wants Gollum dead, and there is no reason why that should even be his goal if he did know. They then allow Bilbo to wake up and walk around only to refer to him as colonizer. Q then explains that they have the technology to heal people in moments compared to the normal rates, and that it is due to vibranium and every source of but what the fuck are you doing? Are you not supposed to prevent Bilbo from finding out all of this? Why isn't there a conversation about this? It makes no fucking sense. Stop explaining everything to the one guy you apparently don't want to find out every fucking thing. Also, I fucking refuse to believe that this one young, barely adult has control over and development of everything in Wakanda from technology to medical science. Fuck that nonsense. Where the hell are the senior staff? Is anyone overseeing this, or has it just been her for thousands of fucking generations making everything? You dumbass movie. We then see T'Challa lamenting on the horrors of his father killing his brother and leaving his child behind being a horrible act, though I'm still confused at how killing the brother when he was trying to kill someone else who was innocent out of fury was a bad thing to do. It makes complete sense, and many reasonable people would have done the same thing. Self-defense is totally a thing, dude. But again, the whole secret bullshit for no reason. Even T'Challa seems to understand the secret that his father was trying to keep, but the audience bloody doesn't. I mean, ultimately, we know why it happened. Let's make a villain. Otherwise, we don't have a movie. Not girlfriend then tells him he shouldn't let his past mistakes define who he is now, in some kind of deep conversation, which doesn't make any sense since we're talking about his father's mistakes, and T'Challa hasn't made a serious mistake at all yet, not even in Civil War. Nothing he did had permanent repercussions, so whatever, I guess. Also, I do just want to confirm with you guys, once again, Black Panther's balls work as a holographic Skype call. Fuck. They could just do everything. We then cut to Bilbo giving the heroes a CIA-style rundown of Creed. He isn't asking about Wakanda, or addressing the fact that they lied to him, or what this will mean for the future, as his character actually was concerned with. He's just now turning into their exposition dump. This film is so well fucking written. Creed is then placed in front of the council, and he says he brought justice to Gollum where T'Challa failed to, and once again the film is going to make T'Challa forget to mention that Creed fucking stole Gollum from him. So it really doesn't count as a heroic move whatsoever. If he just fucking mentioned this to the council, I'm pretty sure Creed's attempt to receive favor wouldn't go over as well, but fuck it. Not to mention, by the way, that when they actually caught Gollum, they ended up going to the CIA instead of just taking him on their ship and going home. There's no reason for this aside from the fact that Bilbo was driving the car. Just another bloody stupid detail. Creed then says that everyone is living comfortable in Wakanda and that 2 billion people all around the world who look like them are suffering. If they can just use their weapons, they can liberate them all. T'Challa basically says that Creed does not know Dewey and that they will never wage war with their weapons or try and rule the rest of the world. Creed then says, "Ask me my name," and the council start telling the guards to remove Creed from the room. So he says again, "Ask me my name." Q then announces his American name but is shot down, and Creed says again, "Ask me my name," and T'Challa says no. So Creed repeats again, and T'Challa asks for him to be removed. And I have to ask myself, what the hell is going on? Why can't he just say his fucking name? Why is it that they assume that if he's not asked of his name, he won't say it? Is this some rule they haven't actually made clear? Just say your own fucking name, you ninny. Lucky for Creed, the guy with a thing in his face asks his name and he announces his bloodline. This is confirmed by the ring he has, and once again I ask, what the fuck was the point of the whole Gollum plot? Why even bother with him in the first place? Creed didn't need it for the overall entrance to Wakanda at all. The fact that he found the place and had the war dog tattoo should have been more than enough proof, for fuck's sake. Was everything with Gollum because you needed filler since you literally only have half a film? What the fuck? The council then simply declare that this random fucker from nowhere has the right to challenge the throne and dismantle the Black Panther because he's the king's nephew. He missed the actual organization itself, but apparently that doesn't matter because T'Challa just agrees to it. You can just challenge anybody at any point as long as you have the right things. Like, the way they frame this scene is that he has the opportunity to deny this shit, and yet he gambles himself, a powerless, suitless, techless Wakandan warrior, against a professionally trained CIA kill count record-breaking psychopath with a vengeance obsession directed at your bloodline. What a dumbass move. You're about to hand your whole land and people to this monster because he has the correct rights to challenge you. Even if you win, everything just stays normal. If you lose, then everything goes to hell. For the love of God, you can't win this necessarily. Just deny him the chance, you fool. He missed the opportunity to challenge you, so stop fucking around. Stop risking the entirety of your ancestors' achievements for your own stupid sense of, well, I don't know. They don't give us a reason for this. T'Challa even says that he wants him to leave the room before announcing his name. He doesn't want to fight him. He doesn't think he's worthy of being the Black Panther. So we go back to the ridiculous waterfall arena thing, and everyone has popped up for the fight. It looks like Creed will be fighting with a sword and spear, which I guess he has training in, which shouldn't T'Challa just beat the shit out of him here? Like, he's been training with this shit his whole life. He is ready to be a warrior king. Let's be honest, Creed's gonna get fucked up. He's got no chance. With everything we know, he doesn't have his typical combat weaponry or his rifles, any kind of body armor. He is in T'Challa's world now, and he is going to be beaten right down into the ground. T'Challa fucking got thrown off a cliff, okay. Oh, and Forrest Whitaker was in the scene, but he's dead now. He got stabbed.
Save the dream!
Anyway, something that bothered me here is that Creed was injured and tired from the fight, and he is now able to sort of, you know, take over Wakanda. Why the fuck wouldn't the other tribes now challenge him? They all recoil in fear at the fact that he's now going to be in power, except for Get Out. So challenge him. He is now weaker than he was earlier. But they never say anything. I mean, they never say that you can only do one challenge. And besides, how stupid would that be anyway if that was true? Yeah, just let your entire country fall to ruin, guys. No problem. Michonne then says that she has to serve the king and Wakanda no matter what, and T'Challa's family basically should fuck off, and they do. I don't know if this is because they might get killed by Creed or whatever, but fuck it, they're exiles now or something. Creed then takes the flower power and visits his dad in Dreamworld. They provide some more motivation in that Creed has to deal with death his whole life, and now it's time to change that with more death. You see, we usually don't get complex, sympathetic, well-developed, layered antagonists in Marvel. But with Creed, we do. The man who grew up with a lot of cruel death in his life and therefore strangles innocent, defenseless women, murders those who love him in cold blood, and plans on killing the people of the outside world, including the explicit mention of children. This is what we call a sympathetic, well-written Marvel antagonist? Fuck off. Creed then also refers to the people outside of Wakanda as, colonizers, and that he knows how they think, so he's going to arm all of the current spies with tech to essentially take over the world. God, what a thing to think about. Isn't it so fucking convenient that Creed's plan worked this way? Lucky he didn't get killed on sight when he arrived. Lucky he didn't get thrown into a cell permanently. Lucky T'Challa accepted his lineage and right to challenge. Lucky he actually won that fight. Lucky no one else challenged him, and lucky the council's willing to kowtow to every demand he makes. It's all coming up Creed House. Our heroes then make their way to the gorilla tribe and offer the flower power to Dick. Remember him? He's back. Bilbo begins to explain the situation, and Dick starts to hoot at him, along with all of his men. They just keep on hooting at Bilbo, like it goes on for our heroes offer Dick a chance to become super powerful and topple the throne. The logic is the whole lesser of two evils thing, and our guys want to save Wakanda from Creed, and Dick seems to be happy at the prospect, which is in line with his character. Then he tells our heroes that he has T'Challa in the back, chilling out, and that they can give him the herb and go win the day. What the fuck? You're telling me that Dick wouldn't have taken the power for himself and led Wakanda out of the tyranny of the foreigner and into a golden age? Instead, he lets T'Challa do all of it while sitting on his ass. Who is this character? Oh, he says it's a life debt because T'Challa didn't kill him in the beginning, even though he yielded of his own accord. He wasn't spared, he gave up. God, this makes no sense. Dare I even comment on how T'Challa fell off the grounded waterfall monument into the depths and manages to wash up in the fucking mountains, spotted by a fisherman, to then be brought to an ice bath where he remains in a coma that would kill him if he moves, only to be saved by a fucking plant that his not girlfriend happened to bring a single one of to the correct place at the correct time. Fuck off, film. You are seriously taking the piss. T'Challa ends up in a dream world again thanks to the flower power, and his dad reaffirms what Forrest Whitaker said. Remember him? He was in the film.
Save the dream!
Apparently it was all to sell the lie that the uncle went missing, which is just as retarded now as it was then. They never tell us why they couldn't tell Wakanda that the uncle was a traitor and they had to kill him, but fuck it, I guess. Come to think of it, why the fuck wouldn't the people of Wakanda, including T'Challa, go and search for the missing uncle? They have incredible radar technology, right? They have invisible ships. Why the fuck would they simply accept that he's gone, lost, or disappeared? What if he was captured or something? Did nobody ask about this? Did nobody look into it? Fuck you, film. The truth would have been realistically better at keeping the peace than the fucking lie was. Anyway, after saying that, T'Challa says, fuck it, let's go and beat the bad guy. Q provides him with his suit and is pretty much made entirely clear that T'Challa is worthless without his suit and the flower power and his balls, being that anyone could have taken it up and saved the day, but he's the one, for reasons. Also, I think it's interesting that Q decided it was worth her time to steal the normal suit that was in her lab, but not the golden one? Are you fucking kidding? It's the size of a necklace. You could easily have held both of them. You could have given the other one to Dick or not girlfriend. I mean, it wasn't just left there so that the bad guy could conveniently have it, right? Before they leave, Dick says he refuses to help T'Challa's fight because he's a dick, and then we transition to the Wakandan fleet preparing for war. Creed then comments on a spear that has the potential to take down tanks with a single blow due to its sonic power, and so raises the hilarious question of just what the fuck are you doing? Wakanda, why are you making futuristic ships, tech, and suits, yet you opt for spears, swords, knives, and claws for combat? Make yourselves some effective weaponry for fuck's sake. Put that sonic shit in a gun. Make a flying suit that can withstand and provide insane blasts of power. Don't take your decades of advanced technology, advanced knowledge, and advanced materials and shove them into a fucking spear. What the fuck is the point of that, you amateurs? Tony Stark would be crying if he found out about this. T'Challa then makes himself known, and Creed orders the release of the transports, and they pop off the landing pad down into a giant cylinder and then fly off. What the fuck? Why in the hell would the ships fling off into a hole and then power up to fly out of it? If ever any of them had a temporary malfunction, or just a general fuck up, the entire structure would be compromised. Why would they not just lift off like normal non-retarded ships? What are you doing, film? Immediately after that, we have Bilbo, Q, and the not girlfriend breaking into the science area by wearing the same cloaks as the bad guys who walked right past them, which would be fine, if not for the fucking balaclava that Bilbo is fucking wearing. What the fuck? The guards don't think it's odd that they just saw someone rush past them with one of these things on in the most valuable area of the fucking country? Are you kidding me? They couldn't look more bloody guilty, mate. These things are practically burglars' favorite pieces of clothing and nobody gives a shit. What the hell? We then begin the big battle scene. Creed is fighting the 4 lady guards, including Michonne. T'Challa is fighting Get Out and his army, with not girlfriend and Q moving around the battlefield. Then the army of cloak-wielding rhino farmers activate their cloaks, and it creates a big-ass holographic shield? What the fuck? You're telling me that with all the technological wonders of Wakanda, this bunch of idiots didn't take any of the advancements in farming, clothing, or housing? They instead opted to have cloaks made that double as a singular long shield? How the fuck was that useful in your day-to-day rhino farming lives? Why is it that you live in the most advanced society, yet you seem to be in an arid third-world economy with cloaks that are harnessed out of your massive technological advancements? weapons. Cloaks that have an absolutely useless application for yourself in your day-to-day, but simultaneously an extremely valuable resource in that it would likely sell outside of Wakanda for more than your entire village. This makes no fucking sense. Get Out then blows his mighty horn and summons the horde of rhinos? You remember the rhinos? He was farming earlier. Well, this is the point of that. They just immediately appear and run over everyone. Jesus Christ. Q and Not Girlfriend suit up for the fight, but they don't have any actual useful armor. Because, I mean, Q and Not Girlfriend both have sort of weaponry and armor pieces that aren't Black Panther suits, and I don't know why. Why wouldn't you just have Black Panther suits? The ones that don't disintegrate, you know? It just makes you immune to damage for the most part. Why would you not just have that? Oh, is it because the resources are limited? You know what, guys? It's not like they're sitting on a mountain of free vibranium that, according to Gollum, they haven't even scratched the surface of yet. Fuck off, film. We then see Bilbo making his way to destroy the few ships that have escaped with Wakandan weaponry, and Creed beats up all of the women, killing one of them. He's just such a fantastic villain. I really felt for his plight. Creed is then tackled to the vibranium mine, and T'Challa tells Q to turn on the magnet system in order to temporarily remove the suits. Q then touches some balls, and the rails are activated, making for the beginning of the end. Creed then tries to justify his insane bloodlust and psychopathy by saying that he lost people who are important to him, and at this point, I found that falling asleep has become the more relatable antagonist of the film. Bilbo's death is baited, but it amounts to nothing, and he destroys the last transports before they escape. Just when all hope seems lost on the battlefield, Dick comes back to save the day. When he said he wasn't going to help, he kind of just was being a dick because he came anyway. Not sure what the point of that was. Fuck off, film. We then get several scenes of two CGI men in pitch black tights bumping each other back and forth in darkness while we wait for the next time the train system actually knocks the invincibility off them, since nothing can happen otherwise, and it feels like watching a blurry video game cutscene. Their suits are constantly changing what parts of the body they protect. When the trains are gone, the suits reform entirely in a few seconds, so they're only vulnerable for a very brief amount of time, which means this scene really drags on. We are spared the wait when T'Challa gets a lucky shot with a knife into Creed's heart. How did T'Challa know that the heart is the last place the body armor recovers into? No, I don't know. The script doesn't know either. And so Creed is defeated. But even though he's stabbed in the heart, he's not dead yet. He gets a few whimpers out and he says he's always wanted to see the sun set because it's beautiful in Wakanda, thanks to what his dad told him. So, T'Challa manages to walk Creed all the way across the rails and up the elevator with no interruption from a train to have Creed watch the sunset and still not die at any point. He would have taken at least 10 minutes to do all of this shit, despite having a dagger in his fucking heart. He's just happy to chill with it, and it only kills him once he yanks it out, apparently. What the fuck? Creed's last words are, "Just bury me in the ocean, where my ancestors jumped from the ships because they knew death was better than bondage." Okay. T'Challa then starts dating his not girlfriend, buys a bunch of housing areas, touches his balls and spawns a ship for the locals to play with, and opens up a connection between Wakanda and the rest of the Earth, preparing to share technology little by little to create a better future. What the fuck? Black Panther is probably one of the worst additions to the Marvel Universe in that it has now opened an easy route to power for so many heroes, supplying them with suits, supply them with flower power. Oh, well, I guess Creed burned it down so we can't have the flower power part, but at least they tried to plug that hole up. Fuck. How exactly did Tony and his father not find out about the properties of vibranium? It's malleable enough to make clothing with while being strong enough to block bullets. How fucking ridiculous that Tony Stark wouldn't have been able to find that out from Cap's shield.
The most versatile substance on the planet. And they used it to make a frisbee.
Not to mention that once you give Tony those things, he won't be stoppable anymore. Supply the Avengers with Wakandan tech and the world is pretty much saved. But if only the film fucked its place in the universe alone, the problems go far deeper than that. Creed was an awfully set up villain, created by an utterly nonsensical idea and tempered by death. His recourse? Kill everyone, even if they're friendly, innocent, or defenseless, because his dad died and a bunch of other people died, so everyone dies. Best fucking villain my ass. Wakanda is a living contradiction in that the inhabitants operate as though they're stuck in the Stone Age while having selectively super advanced tools. Rhino farmers with fucking holographic fucking shields, what the fuck? Remember how I said that Bilbo was being attacked and they bait his death? They forgot to account for the ship that attacked him. What happened to that rogue ship? Did it leave Wakanda? Is it friendly now or not? What the fuck? People getting stabbed and slit to shit, but absolutely no blood? Can't even go with the red lines on the bodies? Come on, guys. She got her neck split open, for fuck's sake. T'Challa was boring as hell compared to his portrayal in Civil War. The mystery surrounding his character has been utterly deflated, barely emoting and finding himself to be pretty fucking useless, yet winning because he is constantly bailed out by his suit, his flower power, or just all of the supporting cast, really. He may have been boring, but since he got bits of development, that meant he was more interesting than pretty much everyone aside from Q, because action was far more important than character. The CGI was ugly as hell in a bunch of the scenes. I mean, bloody hell, guys, really think about this. Incredibly advanced suits and ships, but an Eastern-style bazaar for trade, not to mention that this seems to be the only street in fucking Wakanda. Most civilized and advanced, yet they operate rulers with trial by combat, for fuck's sake. Creed only got as far as he did with pure fucking luck, and even then, being booted out of the film for an hour was a completely dumbass move from the writers. Both Gollum and Bilbo betrayed their characters and acted either as filler for the film or info dumps for the convenience of the plot, as long as they weren't being made into a joke. Ugh, this film's gonna age horribly, with already outdated references to memes and songs that were vaguely popular years ago being repurposed for some grade A cringe. Wakanda is utterly unbelievable. The characters are fundamentally retarded as long as they aren't too boring to pay attention to, and apparently there was a romance plot in the film. I wouldn't know because convincing chemistry isn't something that's seen in this film beyond that of Q interacting with everyone. She was good, so there's that. This film's script is horrendous, and it's bad in both the universe it's joining alongside the idea that it destroys itself throughout the runtime. But you know what? This film doesn't even explain why he's called the Black Panther. They spent about half a second on the origin. The god of panthers called Bast directed some guy in a vision. That's it? You don't want to explore this culture, this religion? I barely understand why T'Challa is called the Black Panther. Why not just call him fucking Flower Man? It would make more sense. Fucking hell, piss off, you crap film. Try again next time. If you guys want to watch a genuinely fun, action-packed, badass black superhero from Marvel, watch Blade. It's a million times fucking better. Or do we have to pretend that that doesn't exist now? Just like Catwoman and Blade sequels and Hancock and even the one with Shaq, for Christ's sake. Fuck off. I swear to God, Disney, you better not fuck up Infinity War. Well, I hope you enjoyed my rant, folks. If you did, then you might be open to a more controversial side of Black Panther, as in, you know, people who think it's not good. And if you are, I have just the guy for you. Or well, I have just the wolf for you. He's the one I said made the great Star Wars video, remember? Considering this bloody thumbnail, I think you guys would want to go check his video out just out of curiosity. You'll find the link in the description as well as in my pinned comment. It's pretty hard to find criticism of Black Panther right now. I don't know what the possible reason could be, so I'm just gonna say, give it a shot. You may love him, you may hate him, but you know, you can give it a try and maybe subscribe to his channel, I don't know. Other than that, you folks can expect a video on The Force Awakens to hopefully come next, unless something horrible is released by Disney in the interim. Other than that, who knows what could be next for this channel. Thank you for watching, folks, and I'll see you next time. Huh? You want me to talk about the cultural and societal impact this film has?
I don't care.